Look, best possible thing from the point of view of the well-being of the world would be that Derek Chauvin is guilty of murder, and he is convicted of murder, and he is sentenced for the maximum allowable time. That would be the best thing.
Agrees.
I'm not sure that that's actually what is supposed to happen.
Why is that?
Okay. The question is, did you witness a murder? Are you sure you saw a murder?
What do you mean by that?
Well, murder is a crime.
Yes.
Okay. Presumably, there was a lot of complaint about the fact that Chauvin wasn't charged with first-degree murder.
So a wormhole bends space like this, so you can take a shortcut through a higher dimension.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 discoveries that changed history.
A DNA strand like me is a blueprint for building a living thing.
My beak is different, see? It evolved a slightly bigger hook over the generations to help me eat the cactus on this part of the island.
We've got to locate the closest medical research facility, a CDC, a WHO, something that makes vaccine.
For this list, we're ranking concepts, theories, objects, and anything that altered life as we know it after being discovered. We won't be tackling inventions, because they deserve a list of their own. Let us know in the comments which other influential discoveries you stand. Number 10. Quantum theory.
Isolated completely, a quantum system would revert back to separate states of matter, each entangled with a distinct state of its environment.
In the 20th century, quantum theory came along and blew up everything we thought we knew about matter. That is, everything that physically exists in the universe. A century after the true discovery of atoms, we finally started to decipher them. Atoms are made up of subatomic particles, protons, neutrons, and electrons, while light itself is made up of photons. Quantum mechanics explains how all matter at the smallest level interacts with itself and with light. Without quantum theory, we wouldn't understand electromagnetism, radiation, or atomic structure, meaning that neither modern physics nor chemistry could exist.
It's quantum entanglement between the quantum states of Posner molecules in your brains.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It was pioneered by major physicists like Max Planck and Niels Bohr, and is one of science's most important disciplines.
Did you guys just put the word quantum in front of everything?
Number 9. X-rays.
So, guess we can skip all this, huh?
Well, we're here. Machines on, may as well take a look.
Abundant in the universe, X-rays are a form of ionizing, high-frequency radiation totally invisible to the human eye. They were first discovered by Wilhelm Röntgen, whose name is still used as a unit of radiation. X-rays rapidly became an indispensable part of modern medicine. The calcium in bones absorbs the X-rays and allows images to be taken of the inside of the body.
Wow. Wow what? What is wow? What is that?
That's, yep.
This allows us to study all kinds of afflictions we previously had to guess about. At the same time, radiation and radioactivity were being studied by scientists from Henry Becquerel to Marie and Pierre Curie. Marie Curie ultimately received a Nobel Prize for her work in the field of X-rays. Number 8. Dinosaurs. For a long time, what existed on Earth before us was a mystery. Then, in the 1800s, paleontology was invented as a discipline after the first almost complete fossil of an Archaeopteryx was discovered. It wasn't the first dinosaur bone ever found. However, this discovery of a fossil meant people had the most substantial link to the widespread existence of dinosaurs. Humanity had uncovered the remains of an entire ecosystem that died out millions of years ago. Now, dinosaurs are a fixture in every natural history museum in the world. They've also been the subject of a few popular movies you may have heard of.
Stand there. Hey, what did I just say?
And who doesn't have a favourite dinosaur? Number 7. The Big Bang Theory.
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait.
In the 1920s, it was observed by influential physicists Georges Lemaitre and Edwin Hubble that the universe was expanding. They also realized that this expansion was getting faster.
Earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool. Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall, we built the pyramids.
So, if you go back in time, the universe would theoretically get smaller at a slower rate, and by that logic, our massive universe started as a small and dense singularity ready to get bigger. Scientists theorized that it exploded at some time and gave birth to the universe in an astonishing explosion now nicknamed the Big Bang. It took most of the 20th century for the Big Bang to become the most widely accepted cosmological model of the universe, but it's now one of the most important discoveries in science. Isn't that right, Sheldon?
Math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with the Big Bang.
Number 6. Electricity. Proof that electricity existed appeared in the magnetic fields across the universe and lightning in the sky for millennia. But it took a long time for humans to work out how to harness the natural power of electricity.
Perfectly safe.
When we did, it created a technological revolution like no other. While founding father Benjamin Franklin conducted many experiments to study lightning, the true father of electricity is Michael Faraday. This scientist built on centuries of research to invent the electric motor. Faraday's work, in turn, led to revolutions like the light bulb. Decades later, Nikola Tesla would even invent a way to wirelessly transmit electricity.
What's conducting the electricity?
Our bodies, Mr. Angier, are quite capable of conducting and indeed producing energy.
While that discovery was virtually ignored for another 100 years, it was another huge stepping stone in this crucial field. Number 5. Penicillin.
That wasn't so bad.
That was penicillin.
You might not think that mold would be the basis for modern antibiotics, but that's exactly where penicillin, the world's first antibiotic, originated. The compound and its medicinal properties were discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1928. He also named it and pioneered the production process. Penicillin is used to fight off a wide range of infections, most often those caused by strep bacteria, like strep throat and strep meningitis.
She needs a massive dose of penicillin or a broad-spectrum antibiotic immediately.
Fleming built upon similar developments that were achieved in the previous century by Louis Pasteur. He pioneered germ theory and realized that microbes and bacteria were responsible for causing illness. Thanks to Pasteur, people learned the importance of disinfection to prevent disease.
Hey guys, I found it.
What? How do you know? Because it says penicillin on the bottle.
Number 4. Theory of relativity.
Well, every hour we spend on that planet will be 7 years back on Earth. That's relativity, folks.
In the early 1900s, a young scientist named Albert Einstein realized that Isaac Newton's ideas about gravity were largely wrong. He expressed this discovery through his theories of general and special relativity, which have formed the backbone of modern physics for many decades. Einstein's groundbreaking equations described how gravity is created by massive objects bending space-time around them.
Time is relative. Okay, it can stretch and it can squeeze, but it can't run backwards. It just can't.
He also predicted phenomena like black holes and gravitational waves, which decades later were proven conclusively to exist. It was a revelation on par with the Copernican system that put the sun at the center of the solar system instead of the Earth. Relativity was yet another theory that changed our entire perspective of the universe.
The only thing that can move across dimensions like time is gravity.
Number 3. DNA.
Mr. DNA, where did you come from? From your blood. Just one drop of your blood contains billions of strands of DNA, the building blocks of life.
Humans, just like every other organism on Earth, have DNA. But we didn't always know what that was. The team behind the discovery of the double helix was James Watson, Francis Crick, Maurice Wilkins, and the often forgotten Rosalind Franklin. While they weren't the first to think about DNA like this, all of them did invaluable work in the 1950s. Their research eventually led to the human genome being completely sequenced in 2003.
If we looked at screens like these once a second for 8 hours a day, it'd take 2 years to look at the entire DNA strand. It's that long.
Brilliant minds use this invaluable resource to better understand genes, traits, and diseases caused by DNA. And genetics is still advancing at an unprecedented rate. Most recently, the development of CRISPR, a gene editing tool, could cure genetic conditions and possibly eradicate cancer.
We use the complete DNA of a frog to fill in the holes and complete the code.
Number 2, vaccines.
It has to be viral. There is no plausible alternative. And like any virus, once we find its origin, we can develop a vaccine.
The development of vaccines, particularly modern ones like the polio vaccine, might be considered more of an invention than a discovery. But the very first one made to combat smallpox is a different story.
If we knew where this thing started, then we'd have a chance of developing a vaccine to stop it.
British doctor Edward Jenner observed that milkmaids who had been exposed to the cowpox virus didn't develop smallpox later on in life. Using that knowledge, he used the pus from the cowpox virus itself, with no modifications, to successfully inoculate people against smallpox. This wasn't the first time a similar process had been attempted. However, Jenner's method was one of the most effective and paved the way for the virtual eradication of smallpox in the late 20th century.
The World Health Organization has created a vaccine that works as a kind of camouflage, making people who receive it invisible to the infected.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, evolution.
It is the key to our evolution. It is how we have evolved from a single-celled organism into the dominant species on the planet.
After some long voyages on the HMS Beagle, Charles Darwin was finally ready to publish his magnum opus, 1859's On the Origin of Species. In this book, he laid out his theory of evolution. It basically states that animals were all related if you go far enough back, and species gain adaptation.
wrecked. I suck. Oh shit, I forgot I was playing this.